Happy New Year. It's 2015. So, I thought I would go over some of the good things and the bad things that happened last year in 2014. So I'm going to go and do a top 5 list. So, let's get straight into it. Here we go. Okay, so the number 5 thing is Halloween. The reason I'm putting this as number 5 is the fact that this year it's the biggest I've ever seen Halloween in Japan. When I first came to Japan, Halloween wasn't big at all. Like, a few people would talk about it, but nobody would dress up. And I told people when I first came about it, and I said, like, even people at, jobs, you go to, like, a store and somebody would be dressed up, and people thought that was really strange. But this year, it seems like lots of people had a change of heart. I saw lots of people dressed up. I saw lots of stores in Japan that people were handing out candy to kids. And in Shibuya, I think they had like a really big turnout of people dressing in costumes. So I'm happy people kind of got into the spirit, because I think it's something that, Japanese people can, really like and get into. I know Japanese people like costumes and cosplay. And Halloween's good because it's that one time a year where you don't feel like a weirdo, dressed as Goku from Dragon Ball riding on the subway. So I'm hoping it becomes bigger and bigger, but like I said, 2014 was a good year for Halloween. Okay, so I'm sure lots of you know about this one, so it goes without saying, but this one is Yutaro Nonomura, also known as... So this is one of the most ridiculous stories of last year. Actually, it's one of the most ridiculous stories I've ever heard. If you don't know about this, I'll explain it briefly. Basically, Yutaro Nonomura is, or maybe was, I think, governor of a prefecture. And so, as a governor, you get a certain amount of money to travel. But he decided to use this money to travel to an onsen, which is kind of like a Japanese bath. It's nice and relaxing. And so normally this wouldn't be a problem because, you can take a trip like that, even though you probably shouldn't. He probably should pay for that himself, but he decided, put it on the taxpayers. And he probably could have gotten away with it if he did it like once or twice or 3 or 4 or 5. But I think he did it around like 200 times in 1 year. And that was really bad, but luckily I think Japanese people are pretty forgiving. So if you just give a sincere apology, and you maybe offer to pay the money back, and you admit you're wrong, he probably would have been okay. But instead of that, he wanted to pretend that, he was doing it all for his constituents, and he's talking about, my constituents, why are you doing this to me? And then he got on, TV and started crying. And after that, it got picked up by international news. People were making fun of it on the internet, and in fact, you can see lots of parodies. So I think I'll have some links up here to a few funny parodies of him crying. So this is a hilarious incident this year in Japan. So check that out. This one really makes me mad. This one was the tax increase. I think it happened in April or May of this year. So basically the Japanese government doesn't have any money. They have a huge amount of debt, and okay, there's somebody hammering behind me. They won't stop all day, but I'll keep going. Anyways, the Japanese government has a huge amount of debt, so they're trying to reduce it by raising taxes. Unfortunately, they decided, let's raise our sales tax. And because of this, everyone started buying things in April, and then afterwards, after the sales tax increased, people stopped buying things. And this caused another problem because the economy started, crashing. And after this, they were going to initially increase it again in October or November, but they decided against it because the economy was so bad. So this made things worse for everybody, and it made lots of people upset. But I guess they got to get money from somewhere. But I think they should probably, cut a few programs. They're wasting lots of money on things, like people going to onsens 200 times in 1 year. I cut that before I start raising sales taxes, but what do I know? Okay, this next one you may not know about, but it's Yokai Watch. Yokai Watch is a video game, but it's also a cartoon show, like an anime. So this one is mostly geared towards little kids, and it's basically Pokemon. It's a Pokemon ripoff, but I think since it's directed towards kids, kids don't even know it's a ripoff, because they're only like 6 or 10 or whatever. They don't even remember Pokemon. So basically what they did was, instead of having like little monsters you put in something, they have a watch instead of a Pokeball, and instead of monsters they have yokai. Yokai are kind of like like demons or like spirits in Japanese. That's what translation. So basically it's the same idea. You go around like gathering these evil spirits and you have them fight each other. So it's a brilliant plan. It worked because this is one of the hottest cartoons in Japan right now. All kids want Yokai Watch stuff. You see it everywhere. So that's why I'm saying this is number 2 in Japan, 2014. Number 1 is Frozen. The reason this is number 1 is because people in Japan could not stop talking about Frozen in the year 2014. I'm not sure exactly when it came to Japan. I'm not sure if it opened in late 2013 or in 2014. But people were going nuts about this movie. People were singing this song. People were, like dressing as these characters. You see it everywhere. Even now, it's been over a year since this came out, but you see this stuff everywhere. I think this is now like the number 3 or number 2, maybe the second most popular movie in Japanese history, money-wise. So, I don't know why this is so popular, but I think maybe they're going to try to make other movies like this in the future. So, I think this combines a few things that maybe good marketing for Japanese people. One, it appeals to women. So I don't know why this is, but it seems like when you market things towards men in Japan, they don't do so well. But marketing things towards women seems to make more money for whatever reason. I don't know why. And 2, it has singing. They actually had a singing theater set up so people could go and sing along with the movie. But lots of people complained because they said, when I went in there to sing the songs, nobody else was singing, so I felt embarrassed to, sing and have fun. So that's kind of one of the interesting things I think about Japanese people. So I think sometimes they get embarrassed really easy, and they want to do things, but if other people aren't doing them, they won't do it. So I recommend next time you have something like this, maybe have a few ringers in there, like have a few professional singers sit in there and start singing first so other people won't feel nervous. So I thought it was really interesting, but people went nuts with this movie. Like even governments were making videos of this. I think one government actually got in some kind of copyright trouble because they didn't clear the song before they started singing it and put it on the internet. So hopefully they don't get sued, but I guess it's their own fault. Who knows? Anyways, people love this movie. Check it out, I guess. I haven't even seen it, but I hear it's good. That's the top 5 list for 2014. Hopefully in 2015 we'll have even more good stuff. And until next time, see you. If you enjoyed that video, subscribe. Also, feel free to comment down below. And check out some of my other videos here. Or is it here?